Okay, so the question that I have is for you. This is not your first time working with Amazon Prime Video, and I know that you've also been on the other shows with them as well. So what was it like coming back again, like a feeling of like coming back home?
It is actually the feeling of coming back home. And it's an internal joke that if nobody hires me, at least Amazon will. So, in fact, I had a great time associating with Amazon on Inside Edge, and it was very different. And it was a very different show because it was a world of men, which is the world of cricket. And there were only two women who were sort of not lost, but holding their ground, but struggling to hold their ground. Here it was walking into a women's loo, right? I mean, you're really comfortable, and associating with women. I've actually, Anu is my 13th woman director, and every single time, I'm just so amazed by the authenticity and the vulnerability and the power and strength that goes in the writing when a woman is writing it, and a woman is directing it, and a woman is running the show. And this was extremely different from Inside Edge, but honestly, I can't wait to watch the show and get back to shooting the next season because it really was, we had a ball. It was a party, really. Thank you.
It already looks like a lot of fun, so I'm sure once we do start watching it, we will get into that world. Bani, the character that you are playing over here, and so Umang is her name, right? And she seems like a very bindas, chilled out chick. I mean, I know a lot of us are very chilled out, and you are also in real life. Or would that, do you think there is like a similarity between how you are in real life and your character?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I definitely related a lot with Umang as a character, and I think that's why I also just agreed to do the show when I read about her character. I mean, I didn't have any hesitations with it. I was like, yeah, let's just do this. There needs to be a character like this for mainstream Indian watching to be available. I was just like, there's no character like this. We haven't had one like this. We haven't had somebody who's even slightly known playing a character like this. You know, written by a female, about a female, telling the story from a female point of view. You guys are going to get so sick of hearing this, but we want you to know our side of the story. So it's just really important, and I was just like, I felt really up to playing it, and I would not have done it if I didn't think that I could do justice to it. So I just went in without any reservations whatsoever, because I was like, that is how I live my life, without any reservations whatsoever. I want to bring that to Umang as her character, and just, yeah, kick it in the balls, man. That's what I did.
As you just said in the trailer and told us as well. Kirti, for you, you're playing this, and it really does come across as a fiercely independent single parent.
Badass.
A badass? Is that what she gets called?
A lovable badass.
A lovable badass single parent. And what was it like for you to put yourself in that position? Put yourself in those shoes. I know that for all of us, all our characters don't have to be a reflection of our personality, and then we have to get into those shoes.
Firstly, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for being a part of this very, very special day, and so thank you. Coming to my character of Anjana, playing a single parent who is extremely independent and who comes across as someone who knows what she's doing and who knows where she's heading in life. Firstly, I think just the fact that you're an actor, you don't. People ask you like, how did you play this or how did you play that? But I think that's a very basic answer to that is I'm an actor and I'm supposed to play anything and everything that comes my way. Of course, I'm not a parent myself. Of course, I'm not a single parent at all. So I just played it the way I would play any character. Yes, there was a child involved, but I personally feel I'm very good with kids. So for me, that thing towards kids comes to me very, very easily. And for, I don't know how and how the makers could see that in me. Ki she is going to be a good mother. Let's take her for Anjana. So I have still not figured that. Sorry? Hot mother. Okay. So I think it's you see what you see in terms of that's just one side of Anjana in terms of whatever you just called her, but there is this other side to her which is as vulnerable, as insecure, as complex, as and as flawed as any of us sitting here. So I had a great time exploring Anjana through Kirti and finding Kirti through Anjana. I think that's a very, that's how I would like to put it. And let's see what she finally looks like.
Let's hope that she finds her way home. Oh, okay. I haven't seen the show. Okay. Manvi, this is for you. And Siddhi's character, she comes across as young, vulnerable. I mean, this is just what I'm basing a little bit on what I saw. But what was it about her, that character, that attracted you to her? She's looking at you.
For one, I just wanted to be a part of this project. By hook or by crook, I wanted to, because it was just, I mean, again, I'm sorry for repeating it, but just so many women together in this time and age, and it's just such an exciting time to be working together, and it's that synergy that we felt on set, which I didn't know initially before getting in. I was hoping that would be there, and it was. So it was basically the project which attracted me to it. Besides that, then the names involved with the project, which is all these faces that you're seeing right next to me. And then about Siddhi and this, but this came in later, right? And then of course about Siddhi, what I found very exciting personally as an actor was that I had never played a character which was vulnerable, which was externally, overtly very subservient and, sorry? Innocent. No, I've played innocent characters before, but just, yes. I've never.
Hi, mom, hi, dad.
Yes, a virginal character. And yeah, and her she's very, like, internally, she's very complex, I feel, as a character, Siddhi. And I just wanted to get into that, like, just jump into that psyche of all the complexities that she comes with. And that was really exciting for me. I think I might have overthought also in the process, but I'm hoping it shows.
Once again, can I please invite Mr. Pritish Nandi, if you can come and join us onto this stage, and Mr. Vijay Subramaniam, both of you. Let's have the men come once again, because we, of course, want the entire team together of 4 more shots, please. So while they say their hi, hellos, ladies and gentlemen, this is that moment where we will, if you have any questions for our cast and crew, I'm sure what you could do is raise your hand if you have a question, and then we will give you an opportunity to ask the question as well. Would be wonderful if you also introduced yourself and told us which publication you're from. So if you have, I think I asked way too many questions. Sometimes this is also what happens. But I know that all of you will have something to ask over there. So to the gentleman over there, I know that it's a little dark in the audience, but I'll let you know where the question's coming from every time. So could you raise your hand once more? Yes, please.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, hello. My question to all the star cast. Over here. Yeah. The trailer was very excited. I saw the excitement. I just want to know how excited you all were when during the shoot, and can you share some experience of it?
I think, Bani, you should start.
All right, I'll start. I was super excited from the first day that I got the script and I read it. My first meeting with Rongita and Ishita in Bandra was pretty awesome. Bandra, not South Bombay. What's up, man? Negotiations started right there. This is an inside joke, sorry guys. So basically, I absolutely loved meeting them. And it felt like when this project came to me, I felt like I was waiting for it for like a couple of years. I was literally waiting for a show like this to happen, and I was literally waiting for someone to come and approach me for it, and it was them too. And it was awesome, and I never thought I'd say no to it. Like, I was just like, yes, I'll do it. Let's go. Like, now. And they were like, no, you're the first person we've cast. We have to cast everybody else. And I was like, what? I thought you were ready. Like, let's shoot. Like, next week, let's go. I was so ready for it. So I was as excited as I am right now. On day one, when I was the only person that was like being cast for it. As excited. So yeah, that's my story.
I think it was, it's been a super exciting ride actually. We were all together for like some 4 months,
You
right?
sound more excited.
I just underplay it. I'm a very subtle actor.
This is true.
So I remember one thing that really excited me and kept exciting me, at every step along the way is when Rongita and Ishita first approached me for this, and I was not so sure because I'm like, I was not sure of playing a single mom, to be very honest. To play a mom, actually, forget about a single mom. But and that's completely to do with my own insecurities as an actor, and the fact that I operate in an industry where where people see you on screen and they think this is who you are, this is how old you are, and this is what you can play. So it was, so I was very, very apprehensive about it till, my own husband reminded me that, listen, you're an actor. You claim to be an actor. This is your chance. This is your opportunity to show that you are an actor, and not think about these stupid things. So when Rongita Ishita came, I was like, okay, female producers, interesting. When I said yes to it, I was like, female director, wow, very interesting. Then I met the writers. I was like, ye bhi female. I was like, kya baat hai? Then I met the DOP. I'm like, oh my God, this is getting too much. लड़कियां तो हैं ही, ऊपर से everybody else is also, a female. I don't know how this is going to be with so many women together. But at the bottom of my heart, I was like, this is going to be so much fun. And I think that's exactly what happened. I have never had more fun on any other shoot. And it was just actually very, very surreal, just being with so many women around you all the time. And I think we got along in a way which is very, very miraculous. Like, it just happened. It was magical. And just all I feel for all these women, I felt then and I feel that even more today, is loads of love and loads of respect for everything that we are and everything that we do. So more power to us.
All right, we have a question over there. Yes, sir.
Hi, my name is Jigar. My first question is to the entire cast right here. Right? Congratulations, the trailer looks nice, and more power to you all.
Thank you.
Your characters have an individuality. I mean, each of you depicts something. And a lot of women out there want to be the way like you are, but they are not able to because of some societal reasons. So individually, what do you characters want to convey in your scale? That's the first question, and I'll come to the second for the writers.
So, yeah, like you said, there are things that every woman would see in our character, all our characters, and would want. There are things that are aspirational. There are things that they would even relate to. There are issues that they would relate to, and so I'll just come to my character. So Siddhi is she's a very. I mean, she doesn't know who she is yet. She's been every time at every stage of her life, she's been told what she is. She's been told what to do, how to be, what to eat, how to dress, and she's constantly looking for that validation, which she's not got from that one source, which is her primary caregiver. Which forms the core of every relationship that she henceforth begins. so now that is the crux of her character, and I'm hoping that you'll see through the show, and I'm hoping women and girls who face issues like that, who can't seem to, who don't know who they are, who don't know how to even explore themselves, will find that strength and that confidence to not seek external validation, to have this confidence within themselves, to be okay in being lost, to be okay in not fitting into any of the labels that society gives you, or your friends give you, or whatever, you know. Just that inner strength of finding yourself and having that confidence of just being who you are, irrespective of whether it fits into a mold or not.
For Damini, I remember Rongita called me initially for another part, and then, you know, I was actually in love with the 4 girls so much, and secretly, I actually fell in love with Damini. And I think if you put something out in the universe with the right intent, somehow it might sort of come true. On the 1st of Jan 2018, I get a call in the evening, and I remember exactly where I was sitting in which friend's house. And I got the call, and I was like, Rongita is really not my friend to call and wish me Happy New Year. So I took the call, and I was like, oh, hi, Happy New Year, really sweet of you to call. And Rongita is like, what are your dates like? The next 3 months. And I was like, oh, why? And she said, well, are you interested in Damini? And I was like, what are you saying? So I start talking like Bunny sometimes. But, you know, once I read Damini again, I couldn't believe that actually I was being offered such an author-back part, but also somebody who's so fierce, independent, but also as flawed and vulnerable and childlike. And she is very political. She's very righteous. She calls a spade a spade. She's very effervescent, but also completely unapologetic. And I sort of saw a lot of similarity between Shayoni and Damini. And you know, honestly, like, as actors, like Iti was saying, you're constantly sort of looking for that opportunity where you can just do that little bit more, you know, where you can actually create layers and make it more interesting. I actually drove Anu pretty nuts with that. But I was so excited that I remember going to set on the first day of shoot, and we were shooting for Anjana's house. And I couldn't sit still. I remember Neil Bhupalam, my friend, he was like, are you okay? I've never seen you like this. And I was like, you know, I'm very excited always to go on set and start a new day or a new film or a new show. But that day, I don't know what I felt, was just this weird energy from my gut. I was like, I can't wait to play Damini. I can't just wait to be her. And I think Shayoni also vicariously, there are so many things that you want to stand for, you want to put your foot in there and say, you know what, enough is enough, no more. And Damini has the power and the strength and the spine to do that. And I'm so proud that these girls actually created her and gave it to me to play her. Thank you.
And what may especially interest all of you is that she actually plays a journalist.
Yes. And Sir was actually a big inspiration. Yeah, it was. We had lots to discuss, actually.
Women down there, you all have acted in this film. Do you think this is going to take off in Orthodox India? And what other plans are there in future? You all are representing the mega cities down here. How about the rural areas also? Will you all come out in films like that?
Well, I'll try and answer that to the best of my ability. I do believe that the future lies with, you mentioned films, but this is actually a series. The future lies with content that looks at what we are. Very often, the content that we see in cinema or in series is what we want to be. The hero is always who we want to be. The heroine is always that pretty little wallflower we want to be. Here is a show about people who are as they are. And as you've heard frequently, the characters say, they're flawed, but they're wonderful. So I think more of Indian content will explore people as they are and capture the variety, the magic, the mystique of what we are as people. Women largely and men too. Secondly, to answer the second part of your question, we have hundreds of films which have been made and lots of content which has been made for what you call rural India, but I would call tier 2, tier 3 populations. They have television to watch, they have movies to watch. It's, I think, an opportunity to tell urban stories too. And we in PNC have been telling urban stories from the very beginning. That's what we are best at. So we have stuck to what we know, not what we think we know.
I'm sorry, ladies, just 1 second, because I would really like Mr. Subramaniam to answer this question as well, because, you know, the platform has had both. We've seen other shows, we've seen this show, so I think it would be very interesting to have the answer from you as well, sir.
So, you know, in addition to everything that Pratish said, a couple of things, we look at it from the lens of the story itself. You know, we celebrate diversity. And so here was a great story that had an urban setting and had women at the center of it. We loved it. So sure, if tomorrow we have a similar opportunity to tell a story that comes from the heartland, of course we'll embrace it. Just as a perspective, on Prime Video you have films like Tumhari Sullu, Lipstick Under My Burqa. You know, these are all examples of really, really strong women-centric subjects, and they're all available to our customers exclusively on the service. So our perspective has always been story first, and we remain committed to that. And we will, at any given point in time, celebrate diversity. We are looking for authentic, unique stories. So there's no stopping us from doing exactly what you said, as if the right story comes along.
Also, if I may add to that, you know, I did a film called Parched, which was actually about a group of women, female friends, who were in a village setup, but they were as liberated and as wacky and as confident and as beautiful and authentic as these 4 women, you know? So it's actually not what is not important is the setting. What is important is how authentically you tell the story that you've set out to tell, you know?
All right. Do you want to add something to that?
I also feel that, we often talk about this, 2 Indias existing, India and Bharat, and urban and rural and all of that. That is also one of the central tracks, the tracks that we follow, because this is a story of 4 women who are constantly fighting that battle of tradition versus traditionalism versus modernity. They are, because they've been brought up with certain values, and now they're beginning to question those values, because they're living their life on their own terms, which seems to be contradictory to what they've been brought up with. I mean, and these are things that we struggle with daily, like women today, whether in a mega city like Bombay or Delhi, or in a rural 2-tier, 3-tier city. But we're constantly fighting this battle of where are we, what do we do, and what are our values, and questioning those and stuff. And also, I feel that we've always, if we talk of feminism and we talk of the bra-burning feminism, I feel that was important for us to be where we are today. So if something seems extreme, it will trickle down to something maybe much less extreme, but as important. And I say trickle down only because we're talking about socioeconomic hierarchy. So, I mean, not to say urban is better than rural or the other way around. But so it will eventually be soaked in, to the other parts as well, in whatever capacity. So I think it's important, everything that we are trying to say, everything that other women, men, all the stories, all narratives have to be heard. They're important to be heard, and then listened to, and then we can all take a call on what it is that we think is right and what is wrong, in my opinion.
Can I just add? Is this working?
Please. Yes, it's working.
I think urban and rural are distinctions that we make based on geography. I think women are the same all around. Okay, I think, thank you. I genuinely think that there are women with ambition there. There are women who don't feel loved. There are plenty single moms in rural situations who are struggling with their drunk husbands who never come home. And there are plenty women who masturbate there as well. So it's pure geography that you're defining women by. And I think if there's anything that 2018 has proven to us, is that you can't put us in a box.
And that just sealed the question right there. Stamped, sealed, and delivered. We have time for that one last question, which is coming from the lady at the back. I'll come to you, sir, because you had a chance. But we have a woman at the back over there. Yes.
This is my question for Aparna. As content head in Amazon, I mean, what is making you select such diverse topics? And this one especially where you're talking about women power and women empowerment, and you have an all-women crew on this particular series.
I think all our choices are determined by what consumers are seeking. We really work backwards from what are the kind of stories that people want to watch and are not getting. So I think that really helps us make our choices. This story, as I mentioned in the beginning, where do we see women like this on screen? You know, women who are flawed, as Rangita puts it. They are women who are work in progress. They've still not reached perfection. They are not aspiring for perfection. They celebrate these flaws. We just had to tell the story. And the fact that there are all these women behind this show, telling this show, what better way to bring in the female gaze that we talk about than this? We had to tell the story.
All right. And ma'am, you had a question.
And where would we be without women with flaws, without flaws? Flawed women are the most exciting women in the world.
All humans.
And all women are flawed.
It's the representation which is untrue.
Vijay might like to start there.
You know, I couldn't be more fortunate that I'm actually a part of this story. I mean, I can put down many things that I believe are my own accomplishments, but this is really the right on top of that list. You know, it just tells us that I don't think we should even take ourselves as seriously as we do as Indian men. You know, they can do perfectly fine without us. They're just being accommodating and taking us along. That's the long and short of it. It was absolutely fantastic, and seriously, I mean, as an Indian man, supposedly woke and all of that, you know, it pays to be a wallflower. Let them be. I believe the future belongs to the Indian women, and so this was a great opportunity to put my name against that.
Over your right at the back.
Yeah, but we let Mr. Nandi just answer that as well, since it was also posed to him.
Well, I think I am the man I am because of the women in my life. The women I've met, known, loved, left, loved again, married. So that's true for most of us men. We are the products of the women around us. So it was a delight working with this team.
Thank you. And so the last question for you.
Right at the back, my question is to the writer and director. Firstly, kudos on the trailer. The show looks really good. And more importantly, we need such stories, such content in our society. Secondly, the question is about the title. It's very unique, innovative, trendy. But how did you all come upon the title? Was it a spur of the moment decision because it's trendy?
That's Rangita's question.
We were actually having shots when they're like, shots please.
No. You know, I think this actually started with a friend of mine, a very old and dear friend of mine, and we were talking about making something about women. And she was giving me all these really sad stories about the state of women in India and all that stuff. And we were having a ball telling these stories while we were getting dead drunk. And at the end of that evening, I remember looking at her and say, hey, why can't we just tell a story about 4 women who have fun and have these crazy lives which are flawed and all of the stuff that you've heard everybody say over here, and raise a toast to that. And we were drinking, that's where the title came up, and therefore 4 more shots, please.
And also to Pritish and Mr. Subramaniam, how has the collaboration been?
Well, I'm delighted by the collaboration. I'm not so sure Vijay would say the same.
You know, we couldn't ask for better partners, and I know this sounds a little cliched, but I actually want to thank the early creators who saw the opportunity and the vision and believed in Prime Video at such a nascent stage. You know, I can't emphasize this enough. Starting off, it was really hard for most creators to understand what exactly are we trying to achieve in India. What does customer centricity and variety mean? Is this sustainable? What does cinematic television mean? And so on and so forth. And here we have the early, bold, brave ones who just stepped into the great unknown, or as they say in Star Trek, boldly go where no man had ever gone before. That applies to Pritish. So, you know, we're very happy that they came and created a path along with us. You know, so I think regardless of how many other projects we do and how many seasons this goes into, I think and I say this on behalf of the entire team at Amazon, we'll always be grateful to the early creators to step forward and believe in our vision.
Thank you, Vijay.
Thank you. And then on that note,
I wanted to add something. I just wanted to add
Oh,
something.
sorry,
If there's
sorry.
one production house that has delivered everything to us, the scripts, the cuts, everything before time, it is Pritish Nandi Communications. We are so fortunate to be working with you guys.
And can I please say something? I don't know what the deal is, but I really want to call, please, I want to call the DOP of the film on stage.
So would I.
And Ishita, please, Neha, please come on stage and join us. Antara, the editor of the series, who's again a female, of course.
Ishita,
She's done a wonderful job, and
Ishita.
that's Antara, the editor of the film. Hi Antara, you finally meet all the girls in person. And that's Ishita, the co-producer of the film, Ishita and the other Nandi.
all right, so there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the entire cast and crew coming together just for you. 4 more shots, please, ladies and gentlemen. 25th of January. That's the big day that you get to watch these perfectly flawed, realistic women.